Leos, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for November 21st to the 27th of 2016. I'm Athen, and this channel is about using the actual constellations in the sky, known as Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out the link down below because the signs are different, which means your sign might be different, and you'll want to watch this for the right sign. All right, so Leo, another eventful week here in November. Things shifting, and I think a lot of changes taking place this week, as there has been. Looking at this first in terms of the lunar cycle, we are coming into the week in the third quarter phase, which means it's a good week to initiate some things or take some steps towards things. And this could be maybe in regards to what insight came to you last week when we had the full moon. All right, that was a time of awareness, maybe some new insight, and now implementing a lot of that. Now, also in this early part of the week, we do have the sun, your ruler, shifting into Scorpio, which is your fourth house. So a lot of things moving into the sector that has to do with your home, has to do with your family, and quite possibly your health. Now, all of this has been a very serious area, at least in terms of you approaching it in such a long-term way. You know, it's been so important for you to be building these roots in your life and your health and all of this, this essential stuff. So now that your ruler coming into here can really emphasize it. I think it's really good to maybe spend some time with family. Spend some time at home, perhaps, maybe do some things there. Again, with Saturn, it could be renovating or building or, really establishing yourself in a certain location or something like that. But whatever it is, focusing on the home life, the family life, the personal life. It's really what it comes down to. And so in a way, the energy levels are low right now. Your ruler at the bottom of the chart. But this is where you can be gaining energy, is spending time with those you're close to, your family or your soul family, your personal life, focusing on your health, these types of things. And your mind's already been here, so it can be very practical. In fact, it can be figuring out a lot of stuff too with Mercury. All right, so that's the shift this early part of the week. Mercury will then be sextiling up to Jupiter here on Tuesday, which does suggest maybe a bit of opening here. And this could have to do with maybe the financial or material life. Okay, there has been this opportunity, or at least a bit of inspiration, that you can be utilizing to cultivate your values. Oftentimes it is material values such as finances, but whatever your values are. Okay, you do have Jupiter in the second house. So it could be something opportunistic or something new, not major, but Tuesday could be an opening with some of those things. And again, that positive Jupiter energy could be influencing the personal side to your life as well. Maybe things are flowing around the home life, family life, or with your health there around Tuesday. Then one thing I do want to mention is Mercury does also rule that second house. So it does doubly emphasize the financial material side to things and maybe some values flowing a bit. But also your 11th house, which is about your aspirations. So if you're feeling a bit, inspired or aspired here on Tuesday, I think it's really good to listen to that. And if you're feeling like maybe connecting with some groups or friends or network circles, maybe there's some opportunities with that as well. Okay. So that's the sextile. Then as we get into Wednesday, Mercury will then go over Saturn, emphasizing that it's now this, as it has been, this continuous new beginning with this area. This is where we're going to have the new moon coming up in next week. But this conjunction will be emphasizing this, how you can use your practical mind, how you can use your insights, and again, establish your roots. So again, it could be health, it could be home, it could be family, whatever it is, continuous new chapters about building for the long term and establishing yourself with that foundation in life. Now on Thursday, we do have Jupiter squaring up to Pluto. This is very collectively significant. This is actually going to be influencing us all week long. And so this is, first of all, Jupiter, again, helping you see potentials in life, maybe with your values, maybe with your sense of self-worth and your self-reliance. It's a really good time to be establishing that self-reliance. But you may feel a bit positive about it or uninspired about it with a square. Often on this week, usually with squares from Jupiter, it pendulates over-optimistic, under-optimistic, over-inspired, under-inspired. Know that, yes, there's opportunities here, but it may require some change. It may require some change within you. And I think the change within you has to do with your self-expression for however this is playing out for you in some form or another. Okay, so how can you strip away these fears that are preventing you from expressing yourself and from also cultivating the things that you're passionate about, you're interested in? Okay, this is all the fifth house. There's a lot of changes. Venus is going to go over Pluto, which I'll talk about next. Okay, so it's really, I think the pivotal point with all this is with the self-expression. And I think the more willing you are to see if there are any fears here that are inhibiting you from being who you are, expressing yourself, having a bit of playfulness, fun, lighthearted energy, although it can be serious with Pluto, but it's because we're stripping away those fears. You know, you're seeing beyond the veil. We're going deeper. And through that transformation, then this immense power actually arises through the self-expression. That's not you. It's not yours. It's just the power of life flowing through you. You know, in this case, you expressing yourself and you having that playful, lighthearted spirit of life, which is very natural for you Leos anyways, because this is your house. But it is suggesting that there is this, you know, facing of the fears, this transformation that's really required. So use this, I think, in a deep way, because sometimes with Jupiter, we can kind of rest on our laurels or just it can kind of lull us. But know that this is something that you can change deep within. And it's within that deep change, then you can see positive changes with the values, with the finances, perhaps, with the self-expression, and maybe just with the deeper side to life in general. Jupiter rules your eighth, all right? Just getting more real, raw, open. All of that can be very positive. All right, so that's the square. And then directly after that, we do have Venus then going over Pluto, which is going to suggest this transformation, not only with the self-expression, but also something having to do with your career or your work and the way you communicate and exchange, or your mind and the way you learn. You know, it's really your mind that's going through this transformation, your perspective that's going through this transformation. So all in all, I think it's a really good week for change. I think those are the key areas. And with Venus, maybe making some changes with the career, the productive life, if you're feeling guided to. It is a sort of new beginning with that. Okay, and also making changes with your perspective on things. All right, so that's the Venus side to that. And then as we get into the weekend, Mercury does trine up to Uranus, suggesting that there could be maybe something new or different this weekend. It might have to do with home, family, might have to do again with the values, your self-reliance, might have to do with friends or community. It might even have to do with, and I think fundamentally this is what it is that you're finding the freedom of really getting deep. And so deep with life, most fundamentally. And again, making change. You know, the eighth house is all about transformation. It's all about change. It's all about healing. In fact, Mercury is going to be squaring up to Chiron, which does suggest that it's a good time to see if there's any wounds coming up this weekend, how you can accept them, heal them as a result, and then that can be very rejuvenating, very refreshing, especially with a trine up from Uranus. Okay, so it's definitely on that deeper side to life, but again, this is all about transformation and change, of really connecting to what truly matters in life. All right, Leo, so that's the astrology for the week. The way I would sum this up is, you know, we are coming into this week in the third quarter, good to initiate. I think a good area of focus is with the roots in your life, whether it's home, family, your personal life, your health. A lot of positive energy here of building this for the long term and being patient with all of this. There is, again, opportunities, I think, with your value sector and your resources, which can be very positive, but it may require some deep change. Okay, and I think approaching it in that fashion is getting on the right side of this aspect. Okay, also changes too with the self-expression, very deep, very powerful. Changes with the career, perhaps. Changes with your perspective in general. And as a result, I think you will notice this week things are certainly shifting and changing for the better. All right, Leo, so have a fantastic week. Thank you for watching. See you next week.